with the weight of eternity at the speed of light. This is our life. This is our life.
Son Lux are Academy Award nominated for Best Original Score for Everything Everywhere All at Once. And if the film has a clean sweep, it'll match The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, Titanic and Ben-Hur as the most Oscar-winning movie of all time. And even if it fails to win all 11 categories, there's a chance that it could end up as the second or third biggest winning movie ever. And I could go on and on about the Oscars, but I suppose I better stop, because Johnny Walker is back on Sons of the 70s and he's raring to go. So my thanks to my producer as always. I will see you again next Sunday at 1 with lots more show tunes and movie songs. I'm Elaine Page, and this is Radio 2 on the BBC Sounds app, on your smart speaker, and on 88 to 91 FM.
BBC News at 3 o'clock. This is Tom Harrigan. The Business Secretary, Grant Shapps, has said he's concerned that tomorrow's planned strike by ambulance workers in England will put lives at risk. Thousands of nurses and other NHS staff are also scheduled to stop work, with further strikes planned for later in the week. Mr Shapps said the main nursing union had told health service managers where they'd be striking, but ambulance unions hadn't provided such information. The General Secretary of Unite, Sharon Graham, urged the government to begin immediate pay talks.
It's the eve of the biggest NHS strike in our history, and he has absolutely nothing to say about it. Where is Rishi Sunak? Why is he not at the negotiating table? That's where he should be, and that's what we're calling on him to do.
Grant Shapps has also defended the government after Liz Truss said detrimental economic decisions were being taken. The former Prime Minister has used an article in the Sunday Telegraph to make a detailed defence of her time in Number 10, saying a powerful establishment had stopped her implementing her plan. The Conservative MP John Redwood said he had some sympathy for what Ms Truss was saying.
There's no doubt about it that there is an economic establishment view that comes out of Whitehall and the Bank of England, which is pretty pessimistic about the United Kingdom and was very anti-Brexit, and I think that's part of the problem.
Iranian state television says that the supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, has pardoned a large number of prisoners linked to protests. The state broadcaster says he was responding to a proposal by the head of the judiciary. The pardon excludes those facing serious charges, including murder. Police have been called to a disturbance at the Bale Hostel where Gary Glitter is staying after his release from prison. A crowd of people is understood to have gathered outside the property in Hampshire yesterday. The disgraced singer was freed on Friday after serving half of a 16-year sentence for sex offenders involving children. Beijing has described America's decision to shoot down a Chinese observation balloon that flew across the United States as an obvious overreaction. China claims it was a meteorological device that drifted off course, but the US believes it was spying on sensitive sites. Barbara Pless-Usher reports from Beijing.
The Chinese protested against the downing of the balloon. Again, they said it was a civilian aircraft and that its presence in U.S. airspace was totally accidental. They also reserved the right to take necessary measures to deal with similar situations. President Biden said he'd ordered the Pentagon last week to shoot the balloon down as soon as possible. The military waited until it reached the Atlantic Ocean to do so. The U.S. Navy is now recovering the debris, which will be analyzed for clues about Chinese intelligence gathering.
The French government has offered a concession on its proposed overhaul of the pension system, which has sparked huge protests. The country's Prime Minister, Elisabeth Borne, has said that people who began working in their very early 20s could retire at 63 rather than the planned 64. BBC News, it's 3 minutes past 3. And now let's get an update on the travel from Orna Merchants.
Tom, thank you very much. And Glasgow queues still there on the M8 on the westbound side, 14 at Fruit Market to 16 at Craighall. Just slow traffic heading towards the Woodside Viaduct. And in Fife, the M90 heading north, just ahead of Junction 3 at Holbeath, a car's caught fire, which means now that highways are holding all the traffic back. So it's stationary on the approach just ahead of Junction 3. The A1M in North Yorkshire on the southbound side is looking slow. There's a lane closed between 49 at Thirsk. That's just on the approach there. The medical emergency is the cause of that, but it seems to be between 49 and 50. And then we've got the Watford closure as well, which is Stephenson Way, the A4008 on the southbound side heading down from the M1. That's at Junction 5 Watford. You've got overrunning roadworks there. So there were queues there yesterday. They're there again today. And the M1 in Bedfordshire looking slow on the northbound side at 12 Flitwick to 13 at Bedford. The A1 southbound in Bedfordshire looking slow near Biggleswade Road. Part of it was blocked and the queues have been backing up for 2 miles as a result. London routes are still busy because of the closures after the London winter run, so the Strand's been quite slow, and around St Paul's as well, down Holborn, that's been really heavy. Delays on the A40 heading into London. It's Western Avenue on the eastbound side near Gypsy Corner around the Acton area. 03700 100 200. Back with more in an hour.
What we're gonna do right here is go back. Way back into time. These days
I'm having such a good time. I'm having a ball. Hey, make some man, take things over. Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why you had to hide away for so long.
I wonder if I remember how to do this.
Sounds of the 70s with Johnny Walker. BBC Radio 2.
It's been a long time. Bonnie, I was thinking of starting with Bruce. What do you think?
Oh, Johnny.
All right, let's do it.